Join us on this tea time chat where we share our authentic perspectives on all things spiritual.
It's real, it's raw, it's unfiltered.
A quick note before we begin. The views shared in this podcast are our personal perspectives and are intended for educational and entertainment purposes only. This podcast is not medical, psychological, legal, or financial advice. Please use your own discernment and consult a qualified professional where appropriate.
Ever feel like life is shifting under your feet? Like the reality you thought was solid is suddenly a little more flexible?
Well, in today's episode, Shift Happens. We're going to talk about 3D to 5D and what that really means. We're going to talk about how this shift is impacting our consciousness in everyday life. And we're also going to talk about the role of interdimensional beings.
This is my favorite.
Really fun episode. So enjoy, and we're
Have your cup of
grateful
tea.
you're here with us today. Yes.
And
Sip your tea or
get ready
coffee. Yeah.
for some fun woo-woo.
Yes.
High vibing energy.
Yes.
Okay.
And yeah, we're gonna shift on with this episode. It's really good. So first of all, Cynthia, do you remember when we talked about energy, frequency, and vibration? And
Episode
we talked
7 and 8.
Yeah. If you haven't noticed, we talk a lot about energy. So this is kind of another layer to the energetic subject. Now, we talked about energy, we talked about frequency and vibration, okay? Now, today we're going to touch upon another aspect of that, which is dimensions and densities. And so if you ever hear 3D or 5D, and sometimes people kind of get confused a little bit as to what the D means. So there's densities and there's dimensions.
Yeah.
And we're going to kind of explain the difference between the two and hopefully bring a little bit more clarity to what's happening with this awakening, this shift.
Yeah.
So yeah, should we just briefly talk about what dimensions are then?
Sorry.
That's okay.
There's things moving around. I'm not quite I don't usually physically see anything, but I think we're shifting already because you're talking and I'm like, did I just see something outside? And then I'm like, wait, what was that? It was like these white wisps of stuff.
Okay, well, I kind of caught a little movement on the side
Did
of
you
my eye,
too?
but I just thought it was, whatever. Sometimes I get that.
No, but I was seeing it so much over. That's why I'm like,
well, we're picking up on
okay, let's see
something
where this
that's in our
goes.
space right now.
Yeah,
That's
white
awesome.
wispies. There it goes again.
Well,
my
you know
eyes,
what?
right? No, it's not my eyes.
Maybe this beautiful energy will show itself and let us know who it is by the end of it.
See, there it goes again.
Huh.
What's going on? This is wild.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, we said woo woo, and here we go.
Well, there's always an element of woo, which
this
is
exciting. I've always wanted to see them with my physical eye, and maybe it'll happen on this episode.
Well, I think it will.
Woo!
I think
come into the camera so we can see you.
Huh.
Fun. Okay.
Interesting.
I'm gonna focus. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's
I'm
exciting.
squirrel. You're talking and I'm I'm sorry because I have no idea what you just said.
Okay, like I said, I kind of saw something on the side, my peripheral, but then I just kind of,
Yeah, because you're focused.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
well,
okay.
We're ready to have you reveal yourself.
I just heard fairy.
Oh, fairies are elementals.
There's this. Okay.
And guess
yeah,
what?
we're talking about them.
We're talking about elementals today as well. So
I love it.
Do you see how, when we speak about certain frequencies, these beautiful beings of those frequencies come into our space because we're setting that energy and intention for them to be here. So this is how energy works. This is how it works.
Yeah, she just said that there's like the leader, I guess, but she just said that there's multiple of them. That's why I'm getting like, you know
Mm.
what it is? She just showed me is like when you see a cat and they're just kind of like going like this, and you're looking and you're like, there's nothing there, but the cat's like,
Yeah.
those are like fairy elemental beings
Yes.
playing with the cats. And literally, I think if you look at the video, I'm just kind of like, so they're
You're the
laughing because they're
cat.
like, you
You're the
are
cat.
doing what the
Yes.
cats do.
Exactly.
I
Well,
can't wait to watch it
but
back.
cats can see those
They do.
dimensions that we
100%.
can't,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Like they just have that higher. They have that 6D
Yeah.
or higher. They can
Yeah.
see those things, right? Yeah. So
Oh, this is fun. Okay,
exciting.
sorry, little detour,
Yeah,
but here
that's
we
okay.
go.
No, bring it. I love it. But yeah, let's talk about dimensions. So
Yeah.
what is dimension? Okay, we can think of dimensions as, for example, a straight line is considered like 1D,
One dimension.
one dimension. Um, and then we've got a flat surface like the table that you can tangibly touch. This is two dimensions or second dimension, right? Then we've got our physical world. We've got physical body, height, width, depth, things that have matter is the third dimension. And then we have the fourth dimension, which is, I call it a bridge, and I'll get into it a bit more later. But the fourth dimension is getting more into like, it's like the construct of time falls into this.
Ah,
This is
yes.
where time exists in that four dimension. But
Mm.
this is also the dimension that you shift into when you have your spiritual awakening.
Mm.
You pop out of that three
Oh, I can.
and you pop into the four. It's
Yes.
the
I can feel that.
right. You can
Yes.
see beyond the physical in the sense of you can see that there's more.
Yes.
It's
Almost because the physical disappears.
yes.
Yes.
The construct of it
Yes.
does,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Sorry, not the physical.
Yeah,
Physical.
the
But yeah, the
construct
construct.
of it does, but
Yes.
time also becomes the construct in this time as
Yes.
well. You begin to understand that, hey, time isn't really real.
Yeah.
We're not just physical. Like you begin to
Yeah.
question, this is where your awareness begins to open. And when you have your spiritual awakening, you go into this fourth dimension. And then after that, we shift into the fifth dimension, which is what we're collectively going through at the moment. We
Mm.
are all going through this big shift from the third to the fifth. I would say the bulk, well, a good chunk of humanity or the collective is in the fourth right now with all of the people that are going through their awakenings or have awakened. But there's
Mhm.
also different levels of dimensions which come into density.
Mm.
So density is, well, let me use an analogy for the dimensions first just to kind of give you a better like understanding. Dimensions are like I like to use the building as an example. Every floor is a different dimension. So you got one, two, three, four, five, whatever. On each floor of dimension, you've got density. Density is where the consciousness resides, and it's the awareness of the dimension. But within the dimension, there are different levels of consciousness.
Mm.
So, Mother Earth, Mother Gaia, for example, she's already ascended into the the fifth dimension.
So the fifth floor.
She's on the fifth floor. And we, as a collective, we are going through this ascension to come and meet her because we are all going to eventually be at that same level if our soul has chosen it. If our souls have chosen to ascend to that
In this life.
in this
Yeah.
life. So many people who are going through their spiritual awakenings or are going through it through all their healing have already shifted into the fourth dimension. And so in this fourth dimension on its way up to the fifth, this is where a lot of people are right now that
Mhm.
are healing and
Like dark nights of the
awakening,
souls
dark nights
kind
of
of
the
thing.
souls, you know, just really opening up to galactics and more awareness of beyond this world. And in this 4D, there is the lower 4D and the higher 4D. So the different levels of
Mm.
consciousness, right? And it depends on where you're at on your journey because
Yeah.
everybody's a little bit different, right? So you got the floors, and then you've got the density on each floor, and the density is your consciousness. So I just wanted to clarify that because, again, this is it's like you kind of have to understand what that means whenever we're talking about it, just to give people
Mhm.
an idea of what we're actually talking about, in case you're not aware or didn't fully understand it. Did you have anything you wanted to add, Cynthia?
Um, so Mother Gaia's on fifth dimension. Um, Now could somebody with a third density be in the fifth dimension?
I want to
So
say
third density is like physical, material, ego driven.
well, it's already existing right now, but
Oh yeah, that's true because we are on Mother Earth, and if she is at the fifth dimension, and some of us are at the third
Mhm.
density. Oh, I see.
So
Yeah.
what we would say are maybe unawakened or unaware or unconscious, however you want to describe it, are still existing on her as a fifth dimension.
Yes.
But eventually there's going to be a choice point. We've talked about like Dolores Cannon and the splitting of the earth, and
Yeah.
it's not necessarily a splitting of the physical earth,
No.
it's a splitting of the
Energetic.
energetic earths,
Yeah.
where eventually those who have chosen not to ascend or not to awaken will experience a different the 3D earth. They
Oh, a
will
different
a
reality.
different reality that is
Mm-hmm.
going to be on their timeline,
Yeah.
and then other people may choose this timeline on Mother Gaia.
Oh, so the dimensions are kind of like related to timelines.
Yes. Well, yes. So timelines, like this is so like convoluted. But yeah, timelines are all possibilities,
Yes.
simultaneous, parallel, but they're all happening at the same time, and they're
Yes.
at different levels. Yes.
Yeah. So if you are stuck in the ego driven, you will be attracting the
Lower
lower
timelines.
timeline. And so
Exactly.
if you go and work on your four density, so subconscious, duality, shadow work, you are then able to see different timelines and choose
Exactly.
different realities. And
Exactly.
then when you get to the fifth density of heart centered, frequency aligned consciousness creation,
Mhm.
you are able to actually see more realities and like physically and choose the reality that you physically want to bring in.
Exactly.
And this is kind of like we talked about in the other episodes where once you find peace within, your environment without, like your environment becomes peaceful
That's when you shift to
because
that
you've become to the
timeline.
five density
Right.
and you're like uh, attracting you're attracting the frequency that you're putting out.
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah. So it's all, again, it's all based on frequencies.
yeah,
And then you've got different dimensions, different frequencies, different timelines.
yeah.
It's all kind of
All
like
like a spider web
it
almost.
really is.
Yeah.
It's quite fascinating. And again, this is all quantum physics. This is all measurements of time, space, matter, frequent, like it's just all of it together. And
Wow.
it's like through these podcasts, we've been trying to just like share these little bits just to kind of
Mhm.
help people grasp the basics of quantum physics or quantum mechanics to
Mhm.
understand, like, because it's not just linear. Like we are not
Mm.
just 3D physical. We are more than that. And
Yeah.
we're consciously choosing in every moment through our thoughts, emotions, again, right? And depending on where our consciousness sits, is what we're going to experience. but we get to choose to change that in every moment. And we're choosing
Oh,
timelines. We're constantly going up and down, wherever we're choosing, right?
yeah. But this is kind of, they're telling me like when we, in episode 11, when I connected with the galactics and they said they were 11D, we, our density went to 11D or 11 density, but we physically stayed in the fifth dimension of Mother Earth, right?
Um, so no, I don't think we no. I think in order, so when you connect with a higher dimension, there's kind of like a merging that happens.
Oh, right.
So they have to come down because they're just too high that
Yeah.
we would not be able to
Oh, we couldn't
sustain it.
sustain it.
So it's like they have to
So
come
we went to
down.
like 6 or 7.
Yeah, so like there's like this merging. So we come up and they come
Yeah.
down, and it's kind of finding that medium spot where you can connect energetically.
Well, this is what I do mediumship. I
Yes.
elevate my frequency by controlling my, I guess, what they call it, theta, beta, whatever,
Yeah.
your breath, and you elevate your frequency, you elevate yourself, so I guess your
Yes. Your
frequency,
frequency.
and they come down and you meet. But I
Exactly.
know I go higher than what I am. And so the fact when we connected with the 11D galactics and how our body was so
Yeah.
affected afterwards, I definitely think we were out of the fifth density for sure.
Oh, most likely because our bodies
Because
like
right now I feel like
yeah.
we're at 4 or 5. We go
Mhm.
up and down.
Yes.
So okay, so we are still on the fifth level of the building,
Mhm.
but we can move our density higher or lower,
So,
basically,
yeah, to a certain extent,
to a
yes.
certain
To
extent.
a certain
Yes,
extent.
yes, yeah.
But then again, there's consciousness. Yes, your consciousness is at a certain place, but then when you're directly connecting to another being, it's a connection that you get that helps elevate your frequency as
Mm-hmm.
well, right? So,
Mm.
yeah, I mean, like it's a lot more complicated than it seems, but it's really not that complicated. Like
Like,
it's complicated, but it's simple at the
yeah,
same time.
the wording, it's kind of
Yeah.
funny because, like, a little story. Like, I think what I'm trying to say is it's complicated in using English words,
Yes. Exactly.
but in spirit, in that
Yes.
energy, it is like so simple. So,
Exactly.
like, funny story is, it happens a lot where, like, me and my husband are just, if he's driving and I'm just sitting in the passenger seat, and I'm like, I don't realize, but nobody's talking, we're just chilling, and I don't realize, but I have, I guess, connected to a higher frequency, like,
Hmm.
I'm up there, and I'm chatting away, I guess. I don't realize I'm doing it, like, physically, but
Mm.
I know I'm having this conversation,
Uh-huh.
and then all of a sudden in my physical body will go like, ha ha ha, just like out of the blue. And Chris is like,
What's going
what's funny?
on?
He's like, the radio's off, like, we're not talking, what's funny? And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I was just having a whole conversation with, like, spirit or whatever, and, like, they said something that made me laugh, and I, like, laughed out loud. But as I'm trying, like, this, in spirit form, that whole conversation was like half a second.
Yeah.
But as I'm trying to explain it to him, it's taken like 5 minutes.
Well, yeah, because sometimes there are no words to really
Yeah.
explain what is not
But so this is
words.
my point, is that
Yeah.
it took 5 minutes to explain
Hmm.
something that in the spirit form was like a half a second of, like,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? Like, so that's where I think you're
Yes.
saying is, like, it's complicated in trying to humanize it, I guess, in words,
Yes.
but it's in reality of when you're in it, it's just
Yeah.
like simple.
It is. And for the purpose of
Mm.
relating this to the collective shift where we're all kind of going and in right now, this shift from 3D to 4D,
Mhm.
This is why I think it's really important so that people kind of understand what this all signifies
Yeah.
on an energetic kind of quantum level, but also energetically at the same time. Like we're just trying to explain it, give people a bit more awareness of what's actually
Yes.
taking place. But um, signs of a personal and collective 3D to 5D shift. So again, we're talking about this collective awakening that we're all going through.
Mm.
And again, these are experiences that you have in these different dimensions. So again, going back to like three, so a third density being is sort of living in the unconscious state.
Yeah, I think I would
And when
call
I
it
say
like the hamster wheel,
yeah,
where
like
you're just
stuck
like
in that,
focused on like,
just the 3D,
yeah,
the
what's in front of you,
tangible, what's in
or
front of you,
yeah,
focused more on,
material.
yeah, like
Yeah.
the very, like just your everyday life, work,
I mean,
stuff,
yeah,
like
like
basic
having
everyday,
to human
the,
basically.
the human, the human,
Yeah.
human. Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, no judgment. It's just like an explanation because,
Yeah.
spiritual awakening is what we often talk about and what it means. And we've explained the different, different phases, but um, third density or third 3D consciousness is the more living human.
Mhm.
And after you have your spiritual awakening, you go into that fourth density
Mhm.
consciousness, which is now you've ripped off a layer, part of that veil has come off,
Mhm.
and now you suddenly realize, oh shit, like there's more than I thought there was.
Yeah.
Truth. This is where a lot of the conspiracies begin to get explored. A lot of people dive in and start um, learning about some of the truths, the nature of reality,
Yeah.
and what's really been happening. And also, it's where you start to go through your healing, dark night of the soul, contemplation. This is a profound time to be in because it's like I said, it's the bridge that will bring us over here
Mm.
to that fifth density consciousness. And in full fifth density is fully love,
Mm.
unity, compassion, enlightenment. It is only heart based,
Mm.
and it's going to be a while for the entire collective to get to that place, but
Mhm.
we're in it right now,
Yes.
and many of
Oh.
us are able to hold that for periods of time, but we still
Yeah.
kind of go back and forth because
Right.
we're still working
Learning. We're
through and
still shedding
learning and
layers, and
shedding
yeah.
layers, exactly. So, but I mean, I'm just gonna here, I'll just go over some of the things I had
Mhm.
written down here,
Yeah.
like, so some signs of a personal and collective 3D to 5D shift: heightened intuition, feeling out of alignment with old systems, emotional intensity as old patterns rise to the surface,
Mhm.
greater empathy and connection to life. And some of the challenges that come up, and as well are opportunities to
Mm.
shift,
Mhm.
is letting go of those outdated beliefs, control, and fear, which we've touched
Mhm.
upon in earlier
Yep.
episodes, embracing freedom, choice, and soul sovereignty.
Mhm.
And, this is where we start to put all of that into our daily life towards our relationships, our work, health, and spiritual practice,
Yeah, and I also
right?
wrote like awareness of self, of our reality, of the divine, and
Hmm.
different perspectives.
100%. Yeah.
And also working with the divine, being able to start to hear them or see them
Hmm.
or communicate with them.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, it could start as like simple as signs, or
Synchronicities.
synchronicities,
Yeah.
and it just kind of evolves from there. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And also, too, like the moment that you shift into that fourth density or awakened consciousness, you remember
Yeah.
who you are. Hey, I am soul in a physical body.
Yeah.
I am love. I am God. I am
Yeah.
connected. Like, this is that remembering. This is that
The
awareness.
spark kind of gets
It
this
wakes
it
up.
wakes up and it becomes a bigger and bigger flame. Yeah.
Exactly. So, like, there's different ways of explaining what
Yeah.
people go through when they're going through this process, right? So, it's
And I
really,
mean, that's why we talk
yeah,
about so much in the earlier episodes about the dark night of the souls and the trusting yourself. This is all the shifting from the 3 to the 5.
yeah, in that
Yeah,
that
in that
4D, that
4, the bridge.
bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like if you can just visualize it, like literally, like here you are, and then bloop, you have your
Yeah.
awakening, and now you're here. Now you're like, whoa, wow, like healing. Oh crap, dark night of the soul, more heal. Like, and this bridge can last, depending on the person, months, years, decades. And there's no right or wrong. It's just
No.
depending on the person's individual journey.
Yeah.
But in this process of this 4D bridge is where you're doing all of your work and you're shedding.
Yeah.
And it gets deeper
Mm.
and deeper and deeper. And the more you shed in this
Mm.
4D, the lighter and more higher your vibration rises.
Mm.
So you're going from low 4 density to higher 4 density until eventually, when you make the full shift, you go bloop right into that 5D.
It's like an escalator
Yeah,
from 4D to 5D, and you're just kind of slowly going
yes,
up.
exactly.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we can't compare, like, there's no comparison. You can't say, like, well, I'm here and you're there. And because, like, everybody is at different
Yeah.
levels, different places, different experiences, and there is no judging in any of this experience. It's yours and yours alone. So whatever
Mhm.
it is that you're experiencing is going to be yours, and it's what is for you. It's what you need
Meant.
to
Yeah.
experience and what you have to go through, because that is what you need to go through for whatever your soul's contract is in this lifetime. Or, and here's another thing I need to share. Sometimes people on this journey will resort back to the the third density consciousness. And it's not by judgment either. It's
Really?
just
Like after they hit 4?
sometimes they'll go back,
Oh, I can see that. Because
to that,
in a dark night of the soul kind of thing?
no, just kind of like, I don't want to see this. I want to
Yeah.
go back to ignorance is bliss.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
That
Yeah.
like, I don't want to deal with it. I want to
I've
just pretend everything is the same,
I
right?
totally have said that too.
Yeah. And there were moments where I'm like, I can see why
Yeah.
people want to stay in that state, because ignorance is bliss,
But it's superficial
but
bliss.
it's superficial bliss.
Yeah.
But
It's
it's
not
that
like it doesn't
temporary.
feel the same as like when you actually make it
Exactly.
through. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So not a lot of people do, but some
Yeah.
can, or they will go back and come back,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because again, there's free will
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, but in this talk of dimensions, Cynthia, why
Yeah.
don't you talk to us about
That's my favorite.
interdimensional beings?
This
Yes,
is my
this
jam.
is her jam.
Okay. So, interdimensional beings. So, we've got angels, and that encompasses like so many. There's like the archangels, which we all, I think, know. But then there's angels for specific things. For example, I years ago learned about parking angels.
I love parking angels.
And I literally, like, I tested it out. So, like, I'm going somewhere. I'm like, okay, parking angels, please. Like, get me a parking spot, like, right in there. I don't want to, like, have to drive around. Ugh. And, like, every time it works. Like, it works so much that I was doing it and Chris saw how much it worked. And, like, now he asks parking angels.
I love it.
And it's so funny because, like, we'll be close to if we forget and we're, like, close to where we're going. And he's like, oh, shoot, I forgot to ask parking angels. And we both are like, parking angels, sorry, I forgot this. And, like, literally, as we're approaching, a car is pulling out.
There you
Like,
go.
it works.
It does. It works.
Give it a
Yeah.
try. It works.
Yes.
So, angels for whatever, anything, you can call on them. They're all there. Um, Spirit guides. So the difference between angels and spirit guides is spirit guides more than likely have been in human form. So whereas angels have never, most angels have never been in human form, um, spirit guides are more able to help in specific situations that help you in specific situations that they have been in human form. So they're able to relate and can assist in greater form, I think. So, for example, somebody who might be studying quantum mechanics could call on Einstein. We don't, I mean, I assume he could be a guide, right? Like, if that's where his soul is, which I think it is because he's worked with me in the past. Um, Dr. Seuss, he has shown himself to me as a guide. He pops in and out, but he helps me with my writing. So there's all sorts of, there's so many guides, there's so many angels, like infinite, I would say.
There are infinite, and and actually, if you don't mind,
Yeah.
so when when you speak about these beings coming to you, working with you, like these are their soul essence, their actual frequency or essence coming to you.
Yeah, like in human form, we would know them in our reality of life as Einstein or Dr.
Right.
Seuss, but they have had many different
Yes.
lifetimes being many different people.
Hmm.
But for example, Dr. Seuss he was very successful in his ability to produce children's books that rhyme and are fun and are out of the box thinking. As I was writing, I've been writing a lot of different books, and as I was writing one of them, I can't remember what my the books that I've written that have not been published yet are very out of the box thinking. And I remember going like, "This is awesome! I love this." And then I saw Dr. Seuss come in, and he was just smiling, and he was like, "I'm helping you with this." So yeah, like
Yeah.
it's just that's in this. He has experience, and that is how he's coming. And I see him as Dr. Seuss because that's how I know his energy.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think that's great
Yeah.
because and this is like we're always assisted and supported.
Always.
We
Like I didn't even know. I didn't
Yeah.
call on him. He just showed himself to me as like, "Hey, I'm
Yeah.
helping you over here." Like, "Oh, it's
Hmm.
so cool." And you can have guides, like ancestors can be your
Sure.
guides, right? So, and you have sorry, I'm just distracted. And you have all like you have lifetime guides and
And
like
then you've
guardian
got
angel, like,
yeah,
and then you have ones that pop in and out based on like
exactly.
your where you're at in your life and what you need.
Exactly. Because you're born with a guardian angel
You're
or
born with
angels.
you're born with a guardian angel and then certain other, like a team, I would call it. Like
Yes.
I have a team. There's a unicorn, there's a dragonfly, an elemental, but like we're talking like this dragonfly is bigger than the unicorn. There's my guardian angel, there's um different um etheric beings. So like yeah, like
Fairies.
yeah, like
Um
you're born with like a specific team, and then you have different um souls, I guess, popping in and out
yeah.
as you call upon them or need them, or
And animals. I
animals,
know
yeah.
animals also act as
Owl.
guides.
I born with the owl totem.
Yeah, and they come to impart their like their medicine to help
Yep.
you with, because there's totem animals, there's power animal.
Mhm.
That this is like in, this is more
Yeah.
connected to shamanism, but
Yeah.
I mean working with the power animal
Oh, it's
is
beautiful.
amazing. But like we have many totem animals that we can work with depending
Yeah.
on what's happening in your
So yeah,
life.
for example, with me, the owl, when I was going through the health challenges, every time there was a major awakening or shift, an owl would show up, and I'm
Mm,
talking like daytime, and it would
yeah.
be like right there. And a couple of times, I'll never forget this. Like it flew like over my like I couldn't I this is when I couldn't walk, and I was watching this movie, and this guy got sick, and he was feeling so like a burden to his family because he couldn't get out of bed and they had to take care of him. And that's how I was feeling, because I couldn't go to the bathroom by myself. I couldn't
Mm.
shower myself. Like, I needed constant help in the beginning, and I felt like I was such a burden. And after watching this movie, it was like I learned that I wasn't a burden. I was actually giving the people who are helping me a beautiful gift, a feeling like they are helping, and
Yeah.
it was enlightening their souls. So it was like a gift that we were giving
Yeah.
each other. And as I had that realization, I looked out of my window, and there's a deck there and two huge owls. I mean, like, the wingspan
Beautiful.
was like this. Two flew right over my deck, and we're talking like, this is like what, 2 feet off the ground,
Mm.
right over and by. And I was like,
Beautiful.
oh my God. And that's when I learned about like how the owl has always been with me. And part of my purpose here is to cut the owl's totem is to see through the darkness, to shed the light. And that's
Yeah.
part of my purpose here. That's why it is my lifetime totem animal.
Beautiful.
And my lifetime power animal is the wolf. And I
Mm.
had to learn all about finding that power within myself,
Yep.
that wolf power, but also that family connected lovingness.
Yeah.
The wolf is very much a balance of feminine and
Mm.
masculine, right?
Yes.
In power. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, like, there's so many different,
Yeah, it's so like it's
beautiful. There's so many
beautiful
beings,
energies.
and like there's the galactics that we've talked about,
Yeah.
like star beings, and then elementals.
Yeah.
And I just want to get into this because, like, I love elementals. So you have the fairies, and there's dragons, there's the rock people, there's the ocean helpers, which are different than the mer people. So the mer people are similar to like Sasquatch or Ogopogo. So Sasquatch, Ogopogo, mer people, they are living or existing on sort of the 4-5D. Whereas like the ocean people, the rock people, the dragons, the fae are at a higher
Mm.
dimension, so we can't see them, but as often as we would see, say, the
Mhm.
Ogopogo or the Sasquatch.
Right. Yes.
So
Yeah, because all
yeah,
of these interdimensional beings are on different
yes,
dimensional planes. And, and oh, we have to talk about like, so the Sasquatch, for
yeah,
example,
yeah,
because we know that people have seen Sasquatches.
yeah,
There's been documentation all over the world that people see these Sasquatches in the forest.
yeah.
And that's because Sasquatch is one of the few beings that can jump between different dimensions. Now, they're a fourth dimensional being that can pop into our dimension and pop in and out. They shift their frequency so instantly, they can literally pop in and out. And if you happen to be at a specific frequency yourself where you're able to see these interdimensional beings for split moments, people have seen them.
And then yeah, like, you see, they're like, I saw it, and then it disappeared.
Yeah, or they see that you see them,
Yeah,
and then they're like, "Oh," they get scared or they jump
pop
out,
out.
right?
Yeah,
And I mean, this is a real thing. I
yeah.
know it sounds really crazy, but it's real. When you understand that everything is frequency and energy, and we've got beings on many different levels of dimensions, we are shifting as well, so we can understand how we're moving towards an era of connecting more with all of these beautiful beings.
Mhm.
We're beginning to feel them, sense them. Some people are able to see them, and through our clairs, like hearing,
Mhm.
seeing, feeling, knowing, right? This is all the psychic abilities that everybody has. They're being activated, and we're going to be connecting more and more with all of these beautiful beings. I mean, it's just amazing.
Yeah,
It's just amazing, right?
yeah. It's
So
very special.
it is
It's
special.
it's a I mean, it's a wild time to be alive. Like, to it's beautiful to be that
Yeah.
bridge, to
Yeah.
be able to um see the reality, and like, and actually be a bridge to these other um multidimensional beings too, right?
Hmm.
Like, maybe work towards living in harmony together. How
Well,
freaking cool would
there
that
was a
be?
time when all
Yeah.
of these beings lived in harmony. Galactics and animals and people, things, beings, you used to all live in harmony
Yeah.
until things changed. But we're going to be
We're
shifting
going back.
back.
Yeah.
So we're going to go back to that place of unity. That's
Yeah.
where the unity consciousness comes in. Acceptance of all,
Mm.
love for all. We need to get
Yeah.
past this divide, this division, and seeing each other as separate based
Yeah.
on, race or culture or religion or politics. Like that is part of an
Mm.
old dense
Well,
paradigm, the
yeah.
old paradigm that's collapsing.
Yeah.
But as we collapse that and shed that old, we're moving closer and closer to getting back to that harmony and
Yes.
unity. And I love it because, that's what's ultimately happening.
Yeah.
Like we're in it. And you might be thinking, well, it doesn't feel like it. I mean, I see more hate and more
Oh,
divide. What you're witnessing is that old density dying,
yeah.
and it has to get
Purge.
a little bit louder in order to get
Yeah.
purged, and
Yeah.
more people are being shown, hey, I don't like this anymore.
I mean, you gotta
So
like, what do we say? You gotta see it to
yeah,
heal it. Like, you have to see what is happening. If
yeah,
you don't see it, it just keeps going on in the background.
yeah. And
You
it's
have to
been,
see it.
that's the thing, it's been in the background or hidden from our seeing
Hmm.
because of how we've all been so, condensed in
Yeah.
our consciousness or shrunk. That's got to go. We're
Yeah.
not allowed to hide anymore. Nothing is allowed
No.
to be hidden anymore.
Yeah. And when you see it, you can consciously say, I don't consent. I don't agree to that.
Yep.
And guess what? Like, it's gonna get, it's just like, that's why they're getting louder.
It's gonna get louder. It's gonna get, and like,
Yeah.
just let's just be honest. Like, it's gonna get crazier,
Yeah.
but it has to, so that it can help awaken people.
Yep.
It has to get, so if somebody's still not seeing something, it's gonna have to get more uncomfortable so
Yep.
that they can see past the veil and go, wait a second, things are getting a little too crazy now. It has, for some people, it requires a little bit more of a
Punch.
punch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, COVID was a perfect example of how it's like something so crazy that we had never thought we would see in our lifetime. And that was the catalyst for so many
Yeah.
people awakening. So
Oh
something
yeah.
so tragic had to happen so that we could awaken. And the same thing with like the Epstein files and the
Mhm.
wars and everything.
The
They're
child
all,
trafficking.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's all to wake us up to say, I do not consent. So, like, when you are seeing something and you're awakened to something and you're like, what can I do? You can do so much with the power of your voice, with the power of your voice, your words, and your intention.
Exactly.
So you see something, like you hear something like that, the war, I do not consent. Just say that. I see chemtrails and I'm like, I do not consent. And literally they
Yeah.
don't take over. We are having sun. Why did that happen?
Well, again,
I do not
we
consent.
create our reality,
Yep.
as within, so without. So what are you
Hmm.
doing about it? See, that's the thing, is once you awaken to a
Yes.
lot of these truths and darkness and disclosure, you have to see it to heal it. But then you also have the choice now to say, well,
Mm.
I don't want to participate in that anymore.
Yep.
This is where the sovereignty comes in.
Yep.
You take your power back from these structure systems, the deletes that have been running this world. You're like, well, I'm not part of that anymore.
No.
I don't participate in that.
Yep.
And the moment that you choose differently, you shift your reality.
Yep. And you shift their reality.
That's
They
right.
become less. It's funny. Spirit showed me, it's like, they showed me an analogy. Like, they're like, okay, your life on earth is like Earth school. Like, we've
Yes.
heard this a lot, right? Earth
Yeah.
school. Each of you come, you go into, like, you want to be like this. I want to be like, I want to learn, get a degree in this, whatever, right? Like, and you each have your own we all go into whichever degrees we want to focus on in regards to humanity, not like actual physical, right? Like
Mhm.
I wanted to learn about self-love so that I can give self-love. Like this is my mastery, right? So we all choose our degrees and we all have these books we can read, and our books are the realities that we can choose. And so if we are reading this reality where there's the child trafficking and the wars and all this stuff that has been happening, we can choose to close that book and say nope, I do not consent. That is not the reality I want to live in. And you can choose to open another book and choose what book you want to read. And that is not avoiding this old book.
Yeah, you
It
can't
is,
avoid it.
it's not avoiding the old book. You are acknowledging that that
Mm.
book was there, but you are saying, I do not want to read that book anymore. And what happens is you shift your awareness, you shift your uh, attention to a different book, a different frequency. And what happens is that old book loses traction. The only reason that old book has the power that it has and is doing the awful things it's doing is because our
Mm.
attention has been on that old book.
Yep. And we
As
consented
soon
to
and we
it by
consented
giving our energy to it.
by not seeing it.
Yeah.
So now that we see it, we don't have to sit in the world is like doomed. We can sit in the I see it and I do not consent. And then we can shift to the reality we want to live. And that shift of your energy takes away their energy. It reduces uh their power.
Well,
Their
you're taking back your power
yeah.
from them.
And what
Yeah.
happens is eventually the more of us that shift into the books we want to read to complete the mastery we want to complete, this old book gets dumped because nobody is giving it any attention.
You know what? You're right. Like, I often see many people on social media who are aware of the happenings in the world, and I see them looping in the same, you know,
We're
we have to
doomed.
fight this. We're
Yeah.
all, this is what's going to happen. Like the doom and the gloom. They're stuck in that the darkness. And
But
again,
that's feeding it.
so but the problem, yeah. And so oftentimes when I see people say, well, we have to fight, we have to do this, it's like, well, you cannot fight um evil with evil or dark with dark. You
That just
have to,
feeds it.
that feeds it. So like, you recognize that you don't like that system anymore.
Yeah.
So instead of fighting it the old way, you now say, I'm taking my energy back and I'm going to pivot and I'm going to create something new.
Mm.
That is how you collapse the old. You have to take that power away from it because you tied to it is still feeding that. So, for example, like, I'm just going to share my own personal
Yeah.
story here. I stopped participating in any politics. I don't vote. I'm not involved in that anymore. For many, many years I always felt like politics was corrupted.
Mm.
From even a young kid, it never made sense to me. And I always was guilted into, like, well, you're a woman, you have the right to vote, you have to vote, you can't complain, you have to vote. Well, I voted for my entire life until I got to the point where I'm like, no, every time I vote, I'm literally giving my energy to a system that I know is already corrupt.
Mm.
Why would I continue to consent to that? I don't consent
Mm.
to them, whatever it is that they're doing, because I know that there's a lot of things within and it's not just one party, it's
Mm-hmm.
all parties work for the same master. It's like two sides of the same coin, and nothing ever
You know what I just
changes.
heard? Do you want and you wonder why there's division? Because they
Yes.
literally made you
They
choose
want you to
sides.
choose a side, and it's like,
Wow.
no. So about what, 5, 6, 7 years ago, I can't remember now, I just made the conscious decision. It just felt right for me, and I'm speaking for me. I'm like, I don't want to play this game anymore. I
No.
Me
Yeah.
participating in it is keeping me stuck in that divide, in that anger, in that like
Mm-hmm.
constant perpetual. So I'm like, I am pulling that cord out, and I am not participating in that system anymore. So ever since I did that, I'm not stressed anymore. And I just don't have those conversations with people anymore. And if people want to go there, I'm like, I don't do politics. I simply just say that. I don't participate in that anymore. What I'm choosing now is I'm choosing to focus on a higher frequency. What is it that I want to create for my reality? Working on my creative projects, connecting with people,
Unity.
co creating,
Yeah, unity with other
unity,
people
exactly.
that is not in the
Yeah.
3D density,
And,
like
and the thing is,
physical.
people are creating their new systems
Hmm.
where politics are not even a part of it anymore. And we're
Mm,
going to get to a place, Cynthia, where politics will completely either die or shift to something more high vibrational, because we know more and
yeah.
more people are done. I mean, so this is,
Well, I mean, you see it all. Like
oh,
everybody's like, why are we fighting?
yeah,
Why is this fucking war?
it's
Like, it's
constant.
so stupid. It makes no sense. It's because there's other things that they're trying to distract from, maybe. I don't know. But it just makes no freaking sense.
None of it makes sense.
And it's like, I do not consent to this anymore. So
Exactly.
every time I see something, like I'm scrolling and I see something about that, I see something about these government people who are trying to fucking control shit. I'm like, oh, I do not consent. Move on.
Exactly.
I do
Yeah.
not consent.
But see, they want, like, part of the way the old paradigm,
Yeah.
the
They
three
want the
dimensional,
anger. They
they
want the
want you to be
division.
angry. They want you to argue. They
Hmm.
want you to stay stuck in that frequency.
Because then you're not building your own reality.
Exactly.
And your own reality, I guarantee you, 99% of us is about love, unity, community,
Yep.
collective, helping each other
Yeah.
rise.
Because I think generally humans are,
Mm.
we are naturally loving, helping
I mean, look at when there's
humanitarians.
like a disaster.
Yeah, everybody, it's not the government that comes
No.
first. It's the community
Yep.
around those devastations, where the people are coming together with clothing and food and helping. And the government eventually there
Has to show
has to
face.
show face for photo
Yeah.
opportunities and just
Photo.
spews the same old rhetoric
Oh
and
my
narrative.
god.
But this is what I'm trying to say. It's like,
Yeah.
we are the ones that are going to create or are creating that
We the people
new
take our
earth.
power back. Ooh, I like
Exactly.
that. Sorry, I
Yeah,
just heard it. So
we
maybe
are.
that can be a mantra, is like, I do not consent. I take my power back.
Yeah. And it's for anything that doesn't feel right, or anything that is of a lower frequency. You always have the choice whether you consent
Mm.
or not. And you consent by, you don't even have to say anything. You consent by just giving your attention to something. Like if you're, like if you're in an environment where everybody in that environment is negative, like really negative, you being around that, you're consenting to that,
Yeah.
because your frequency is now being drawn from this. So you can't get mad at others for making you feel bad, because you've consented by being there.
Yeah.
You
So,
change it by
yeah.
saying, I'm not doing this,
Yep.
I'm leaving, or I'm just choosing to do something
I take
different.
my energy back.
Exactly.
And you, yeah.
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 I just want to share one of the
Hmm.
biggest trickeries or deceptions of this old third dimensional world, and the darker densities that we've all been entrapped in, is they have only been in power because of our consent.
Hmm.
That is the only way anything can have power over you,
But,
is if you consent. And most
and
people
it's
are
because of the
unaware of it,
fear.
but
They've
yes,
instilled the fear, and then you're just so scared, so you just consent to without question, like
exactly.
the shots, like for COVID, like people were just so scared because they put this narrative of fear out,
Hmm.
and then they just were like, oh, whatever you say, like, I'll
Or
do.
even
But
the
it's,
ridiculous policies they put out. Most of
oh,
them
what?
were so insane, and yet,
Don't get me
like,
started
you
on
have to wear a
those.
mask from the the door to the table, but when you sit down at the table, you can take your mask off. I mean,
Here's one.
like,
This
really?
this to you know who in BC that made this fucking rule. Fuck you. I take my power back, but my dad passed away.
Oh, yeah.
This church could fill 400 people. That's a big fucking church.
Yeah.
We were allowed maximum, including the priest and like altar boys or whatever, 10 people.
I couldn't come. I really wanted to
10
come. Yeah.
people. Our family was bigger, like our
Yeah.
immediate family is bigger than 10 people. 10 people were only allowed to be there for the funeral of my father. His grandkids couldn't even be all there. And at the same time, that person who made these rules said, oh, you can go to Costco
Yeah.
and be shoulder to shoulder with
Yeah.
people wearing your mask, and that's fine.
Yeah. With 300 people.
We could have had,
I know.
like, you know how big this church is? There could be one person at each end of a pew, which we're talking is like, what, 20 feet apart? There could have been so many, and wearing masks and being way more than 5 feet apart, and that was not allowed. Do you see how they were trying to kick you when you're down? You are grieving somebody you fucking love so much, and they're like taking away the closure that a funeral brings.
And then what about all of the elderly that passed away in care homes that weren't even allowed to have their family visit them? Do you know how many
And
of those
how
people
many of them died of loneliness?
I know. But see, these things happened because of fear and consent. That gave power to these systems to implement these ridiculous policies that made absolutely no sense. But this is how they've controlled humanity for hundreds of years. They only do it through consent, and they use force like fear and ridiculous policies and rules. I mean,
and here's the beautiful thing. Remember in the other episode, I think I said that these dark energies are just what they try and push onto people is just backfiring. So COVID, as an example, completely backfired because of how many millions of people awakened from that. Increasing the light and giving them less power. So this situation, not just me, but a few of us in the family were so hurt because we saw the irregularities in their safety protocols that it made us be like, take our power back. And without realizing, we were like, screw you. Like, we're not going to do this anymore. We lost Christmas with him, his last Christmas with him, not knowing, because we didn't know he was sick then, because we were following your protocols. And now look, like, we saw the bullshit and we were like, we were like, forget it. Nope. And that was it. We stopped consenting. And I feel like a lot of people did that.
Oh, yes.
And what happened?
When enough
the
people,
protocols all of a sudden weren't needed.
When enough people take their power back and no longer give consent to another, you collapse their power. Because truly, nobody technically has power over you as a sovereign human, flesh and blood, soul. Nobody has power over you unless you give it to them. Now, unfortunately, many do because of lacking of awareness or fear, whatever. But the thing is, the moment you get to that place and you become aware and you're like, no more, you now collapse their power. They have no power
and
over
I mean,
you.
thank you, because you showed me that I can take my power back.
Exactly.
And you just lost power.
And that is what's going on collectively. COVID, like I mentioned in a past episode, was the biggest catalyst for this global
Yeah.
awakening. I mean, we are talking millions and millions of people
Yeah.
that was a catalyst for an awakening, and it's just been, now it's just like this wave is just continuing, and it's wave after wave of awakening, because,
Yeah.
well, eventually, um things just have to, it just has to collapse. And because Mother Earth has shifted her frequency, we are now being called to shift as well, and we're all being guided on this
Mhm.
ascension path. This is
Yeah.
really, like, this is a beautiful time to be alive.
Yeah.
It
It is.
really is.
Once
Yeah.
you become aware,
Mm,
oh,
it is.
the power that you beautiful power that you have within you to physically change the past.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a beautiful gift.
it is.
Yeah.
It really is. It's amazing, and I'm glad how we segued into that, because
Mhm.
again, everything is connected to, connected to energy, frequency, healing. Do you
Yeah.
see, like, how every episode that we talk about, it's always coming back to the same, like, it's
Yeah.
always, like, coming back to that center point, remembering
Yeah.
who we are, taking back our power,
Yeah.
standing in our sovereignty, building our
Trust. Inner
trust,
trust.
setting our boundaries. Like,
Yeah.
in
It's all
it's
to
all
rise up.
it's
Like
all
it's
yeah.
all to like take your power to read that new book and be like, this book is done, like we're killing the old system. and
Yeah.
it and we're doing that by healing ourselves and rising within ourselves and understanding our power of our voice and our intentions and our words, and like the everything, and that everything you do for yourself
Mhm.
is completely healing and getting rid of the old paradigm, like just by working on yourself.
Yeah.
You can stop that stuff.
Absolutely. And so, what you focus on, you're giving power to.
Yeah.
So you can focus on fear, you can focus on divide or hate, or you can focus
Mm.
on love, on unity, on compassion, on self love. It really, at the end of the day, it's up to you. And there is no judgment either way, because each person is on their own journey. But I mean, for the purpose of our podcasts, I really feel like we're here to help those who are, you know, on their
Yeah.
journey, have awakened, are awakening,
Yeah.
maybe beginning, maybe you're already,
Take your power
like,
back, girl,
it's all
boy.
about
Like, yeah.
empowerment. Yeah. And, like, I feel like, and there's,
Actually, can I just say, like, to
yeah.
that person, like, I sent them, it was, I'm going to take my power back, and I'm just going to send them love to their soul connection that's with God,
Mm,
and hope that one day they're able to right their wrong. Done. And
yeah.
just like that, because I could feel my power going there, because
Mm.
it triggered a little bit of like anger, right?
Well,
And I was like,
sure.
oh, wait a minute, they're taking my power. I
Mm,
felt that pull from my heart, and I was like, nope. So you just like that. I wanted to just do this on the videos to show people how simple it is.
it
You
is.
just stop and you're like, take my power back. I send their soul love, and I cut the cord, and I just hope one day that they can right their wrongs
Well, and
and be
those that
aware.
have harmed
Yeah, they will.
humanity are going to be held accountable.
Yeah,
That has to be, it's part of karma.
yeah.
So those that do evil,
Actually, next episode, right?
yeah,
Stay tuned, because we
yes,
talk about karma and
yes.
the good and the bad
Karma
part.
is good or bad.
It's yeah. It's
So
not like what people say. Oh, you got that's your karma. It's like, well, it could be good too, and that could be
absolutely,
good karma, right? So it's
absolutely,
neutral. Karma is neutral,
it is neutral.
and it's
Yes,
just reflected back to you of what you have done,
yeah,
um, to help
absolutely.
you learn. Really, it's all about just, it's not like, oh, you did something bad and it's going to be like bad is going to be put upon you. It's what seems bad is put upon you to help you maybe learn through empathy, like learn, oh
Mm.
shoot, now I know how that feels. Oh shit, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I shouldn't have, it could, it's always a lesson to help you rise.
Yeah. Well, but it's one of the, and we're doing that next
Next episode.
episode about the laws,
Yeah.
the universal laws, which we're going to get into that this kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it has to be that way. It's just how it works.
Yeah, because the universe loves you and wants you to like be a, like succeed in your path here. And if you've kind of lost your way and you've done something, what's reflected back is just because it's like, hey, you see what you did?
Mm-hmm.
Eh? I have a really good story. Oh my gosh, so funny. Like instant karma. It was hilarious. Anyway, we'll talk about it in next episode. Stay tuned because it's so
Yes.
funny. But yeah, I think it's just like you said, everything is reflected back to you, good or bad. Like it's not good or bad. It's just it is what it is. It's
Yeah.
reflected back to you. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. Well, we've really we did a
Ooh.
deep dive on that here,
Yeah.
didn't we? So
So I think can
yeah.
I insert tea time takeaway? I
Mm-hmm.
feel like you to this week, do like how you saw me like realize where I gave my power away
Yeah.
and I took it back and I just like I disconnected from that. I just sent it love and I was like, clear, cancel, delete. I take my power back. Do that with a situation that you find yourself in the next week,
Yeah.
or that you remember a situation that just happened and go back and you can go into the past and you can take your power back.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were like saw a post about like something that made you angry, maybe go think about that post and how you felt, take your power back and send the situation love and like, if it's that war, it's like I do not consent. I hope like I send it love and I hope that it resolves very soon. Take my power back, I cut the cord and I move on. So I think that'd be a great tea time takeaway.
I think so. I think that was very well said, Cynthia,
Yeah.
because again, like we're always the ones that get to choose, right?
Yeah.
And that's
So put it into practice.
put it into practice.
See how
Absolutely.
it goes.
And yeah, so let's I think we're good. I think we've covered a lot.
Yeah.
So we talked about dimensions and densities and the shift of 3D to 5D, and always remembering that whatever happens, and there's always going to be tests. Like that's again part of the
Yeah.
human experience.
Well, because the universe is like, okay, you say you want to be a more loving person. Great. So show me. Right? And then they'll put somebody in front of you.
They'll put
Like,
like
I mean, like what happened is a perfect example. I feel like I'm like, oh, I like really like felt like I let that go and I love, and then it was like in the moment I was like, ah, fuck you. And then it was like, oh, wait. Like as we're talking, I could feel that.
yeah,
Ugh,
because
that
you
pull, like
literally
it's
feel
like
it.
you feel like them sucking your,
Yeah.
and I was like, fuck no, you took away stuff from me, and now you're gonna take my energy too. No,
And
no, no, no.
actually another way of describing what
Yeah.
happened energetically is you actually create a cord. And
Yeah.
that might,
Yeah.
that might be another podcast where we talk about
Yeah.
cords and attachments. But whenever you
Yeah.
give
Such a good
something
idea. Yeah.
or someone your energy, whether it's good or bad, you are cording yourself to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So when you give your power away to someone, you've created a cord, and now you've basically consented to this
Yes.
cord taking and
Right.
extracting energy from you.
Yeah.
And practices like cord cutting, releasing attachments and stuff
Yeah.
like that is really important, especially if it's something that is quite dense or
Yeah.
heavy.
Yeah.
Do
So
you know what
I
I
feel
mean?
like this is a perfect kind of like real time example of how like
Hmm.
I went into that lower 3D. I because I felt angry. And then I came to the 4D and was like analyzing it because I'm like, why do I feel like something's sucking at my chest? And I was like, oh shit, I just gave I gave my power away. I'm just telling you not to give your power away, and I just did it. So then I went to the 5D and I was like, okay, I take my power back. I cut the cord because I don't giving anger is like you said, there's this like expectation of like them for to have to apologize for you, and there's that cord that you just don't want. So I like cut the cord, take my power back, and I just send light and love, and I'm just like, like just peace. Like one day
Well, because you're back in
you're
your
just,
sovereignty.
yeah. So it's like, see how I like a perfect example for you all of how you move
You just
between
shifted.
the
You went into the
the
lower.
densities.
You became aware.
Yeah,
You recognized. You made the choice,
yeah.
and you brought yourself back to a different frequency.
All within the hour.
That was all like a super condensed example of what you are capable of doing, and it takes
Yeah.
practice.
Oh, for
Like,
sure.
you first have to go through this process, but like when you get to that place where you can suddenly start to go in the moment,
Like you can
you
feel.
feel it,
Yeah.
you recognize it, you're aware of it, you shift it, or you choose and you shift
Yeah.
it, and you can do
Done.
it that fast. It
Yeah.
really can be that fast.
Yeah. And it's beautiful full circle to what we were talking about with the 3, 4, and 5
Mhm.
densities, right? And how to maneuver your way through them.
Exactly. And if you go down, it's okay. Don't judge yourself. But
I didn't judge myself. I was
no.
just like, oh shit. Okay, let's fix it.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, I have some 3D days,
Yeah.
and I'm like, ooh boy, but then I choose differently the next day
Yes.
or in the moment. So
Yeah.
it's all good. But
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed this episode today. I hope you take something from it. And is there anything else you want to say before we close?
Tea time truth bomb.
Oh yeah. Do you want to read that?
Okay. You're already multidimensional. The shift isn't about escaping reality. It's about remembering who you are and tuning into your highest frequency. And sometimes, for those who are ready, those interdimensional allies show up in ways that remind you you're never truly alone.
I
And you're
love
not.
that. Yeah.
From the moment you take
Yeah.
foot into this physical body, you're not, actually, even in spirit, never. You're
No,
never
you're
alone.
never alone.
So, yeah.
That's beautiful. I love that. Thank
Yay.
you.
And please, like, we love stories. If you have stories of seeing a Sasquatch or Ogopogo or any angel stories, we love them. Please put them in the comments.
Yes.
Just love like stories like that.
Definitely.
Woo.
Please share. And if you haven't already done so,
Subscribe, because we got
like,
really good
share,
ones.
and
Yeah.
comment below. And thank you so much for being with us today. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.